Nigerians. Hello, good evening, Nigerians. I will try my possible best this evening to address two issues at a time. I will start with the subject of our president, Bola Ahmed Tinubu, who actually is the person that we are hearing some kind of news about right now. Around 7 p.m. today tends to be 22nd or 23rd of July, I was just like, let me even go ahead and see what's going on. And I saw a new news that Bola Ahmed Tinubu, from Sahara Reporters, so these are not my words. These are the things that I heard. Good evening. Thank you for joining me, Miss D. So not my words, but from Sahara Reporters. And they said that Bola Ahmed Tinubu has made a decision. It wasn't even decisive. Like, he was influencing certain people from the northern side that they shouldn't protest by August 1st. And I think that this is what I have been expecting as a person from our president for a long time. You see, they always tell people certain things that when people say negative things about people, you don't just believe it and say, oh, because somebody say things, you have to just go ahead with it. But they say that when people say negative things about somebody, it is also important that you do your due diligence about that person. And then you ask yourself certain questions. Does the report that I hear, does it correlate with the actions of that person? Kuti was talking about Nigerians preparing themselves to go protest, the Nigerian youths. Thank you very much, Ms. D. Thank you very much. $5. I appreciate it. Is that $5 or 25? $5. I'm a big boy. Wow. So Sheun Kuti was actually talking about these things. That was okay. It was $5. Promise. Please help me with my towel in my room. Oh, Mama, help me give Kolade my towel in my room. So this individual came up and he was talking about Nigerian youth going ahead to protest. I looked at it like, all this kind of stuff, I know our Nigerian government. And I know for sure that the best president Nigeria can ever have is the president we have currently on ground right now. Thank you. The best president Nigeria can ever have since our history, since the beginning of our history, is the president we have currently. You can decide to flip the word. You can decide to see it from a different angle. President Bola Ahmed Tinubu is the best president Nigeria can ever have, or Nigeria has ever have. Do your due diligence and mix that word, because you know that if we say what we need to say or what we have to say, before you know they will want to do, you say something about your government, the government. In Nigeria, we don't have freedom of speech. Anybody who tells you Nigeria have freedom of speech is lying to you. We don't have freedom of speech. So, in a nutshell, we deserve what we have right now. So the story goes like this. Sahara Reporter reported that the government, not specifically, we wouldn't say Tinubu, the government of Tinubu decided to pick up people from the northern side. And I wonder why they went to the northern side, because the president himself is actually a Yoruba. So why is he not picking the Yorubas? Why did he go towards the northern side and he picked the youth there and they brought them in and they spoke to these individuals and they gave them 1,500 each to bribe. Do you call it bribery? According to Sahara reporters, to bribe them so they don't hold that protest by August 1st, according to what the youth are actually planning to do. And I was like, when will this method actually stop? Because Nigerians, we've always seen this happening over and over again, that every time we are gathering for something important, Nigerian government will find a way to give certain people some kind of change. 500 naira, 1,000 naira, 1,500 naira, just to destroy the union of the people. And it has been working for a very long time. Even it was 500 naira, 1,000 naira. It's surprising to me that they said the government are giving certain people 1,500 naira. Please, mark my words very clearly. I didn't say President Bola Ahmed Tinubu was giving people 1,500. I said Sahara reporters reported that the government of Bola Ahmed Tinubu gave certain people 1,500 naira so they wouldn't protest. Now the question is, why are we protesting? Initially, before I went offline, I never knew my camera went off. I was talking about police is your friend. And how I see police is your friend is that police are set to protect lives and property in Nigeria. And if police are set to protect life and property in Nigeria, the question is, who are the people who actually have properties in Nigeria? I repeat, if the Nigerian police force are meant to protect lives and property, who are the people that have properties in Nigeria? At least in the previous video I showed, in one of my videos that I talked about police is your friend this afternoon, if you go through it, I played a lot and various videos on police brutality on even people who are protesting. This is the identity of our Nigerian police force. And they will come ahead and they tell you that police is your friend. Who? Which I asked a question in that video, but it didn't show up. I asked a question, I said, which Nigeria in this country, which person as a Nigeria in this country has ever gone to police station to lay a report and does not pay money, and the police take it upon themselves to go and do their work? If you have ever lost a car before, if your house has ever been burnt before, if your phone has ever been stolen before, which Nigeria, I challenge any Nigeria to come out and tell me that your phone got stolen or your car got stolen and you went to Nigerian police force and you ask them, please, this thing, so stuff happened to me, and you lay a report, and they took it upon themselves to follow you to go and make arrests, to follow you to go and do investigation without collecting a penny from you. Which Nigerians can say it? Any Nigeria, maybe you are in diaspora, if you have lived in Nigeria, let one person come out and tell me. I challenge all Nigerians. Thank you, Ms. D. Do you think it's because of their low pay? uh, the reason why people commit crime, there are many reasons to it. And I tell people that if you have not gotten hungry before, that's when you make a claim that you cannot steal. But hunger is different from when you have a choice. There's a difference between being greedy and being a thief. Because if you're greedy, you have something for yourself, but you want more for yourself, and you despise or you don't care who pays the price for what you want to have. If you are a thief, it is simply because you are hungry. I do not think that anyone will put on Nigerian police uniform and go to that particular office to say they want to be a law enforcement and they are not feeding one way or the other. But I think it is out of greed. The same thing that affects our politicians is the same thing that is applicable to our law enforcement. And which I've actually repeated this on various videos that I've made, talking to people about if the Nigerian police force are actually doing what they are supposed to do as people, do you think Nigeria will be as corrupt as it is? The law of every country can only be as effective as the righteousness or as the commitment of the law enforcement. So when they give us this story and they are telling us that Nigerian police force are protecting lives and properties, I'm asking which person's life and which person's property are they protecting? I played a video earlier today where they were harassing people because of iPhone. I played another video today of where they were holding a guy with handcuff on a van. I played another video today of them holding certain people who are protesting and they are beating them up. Now, it is rare for you to look at Nigeria police force on YouTube and see them harass a rich man. You cannot be driving a not Range Rover. What kind of car do we have in Nigeria that is a big car? But you cannot drive any big car, because I don't want to say Lexus, because there are all kinds of Lexus. But you cannot drive a big car in Nigeria and Nigerian police force will hold you. No. They don't harass people like that. They focus on the people who don't have. Maybe because these ones have life, but they do not have properties. Because our law is that they protect what? Lives and property. So if you did not have both, if you have only life and you don't have property, you don't deserve protection. It's unfortunate, but that's the reality of Nigeria. I repeat, if you have life in Nigeria and you don't have property, Nigerian police force may most likely not protect you because you only have 50% of what they protect. But if you have life and you have properties, they will protect you. Call them any day of the week, anytime. In fact, it is not the sergeant that will come and pay you visit. Just call them, you will just see certain people will just show up. Before you know, before they go and turn my case to kuti and Verydarkblackman, oh, please, so I'm hypothetically speaking. But what I said is that, is there any station that any Nigerians have ever reported to that these individuals did not collect money and they go ahead and they work for you? Why am I saying this? I'm saying it due to the protests. When the protest is coming up, Nigerians need to open their brain. And I said something earlier. I said the best president Nigeria can ever have, or Nigeria has ever had, is Tinubu. And there's a reason behind it. Which government have you ever seen that when the people decide to protest against its bad government, decide to give people something. I did not say it. Sahara Reporter said it. Most of them, they will just keep quiet. If it is Buhari during Buhari's regime, he most likely will travel out of the country, because Buhari was just traveling from Dubai to Benin Republic to Canada to... I think during the time of Buhari, he was using that period for world tour. He was just touring the whole world. Bola Ahmed Tinubu did not want to travel. He wants to sit down with you people. Because there were all kinds of rumor and propaganda that Bola Ahmed Tinubu spent a lot of millions to buy Nigerians' votes. Me, I did not believe it too. Do you believe it? So maybe this time, some people will say some people are recovering money. Emefiele knows what happened now when he was trying to do something against it. Emefiele knows. So he now made a decision, not me, Sahara Reporter said it, that they want to bribe some people 1,500. This should tell you the intentions behind the government, that this one is not even coming with violence, so it's coming with something bigger than violence. I don't know if I will call it, you cannot say it. Your government, Nigerian government cannot manipulate its people. No, they don't. It's not in Nigeria, they don't manipulate. It's elevating the lifestyle of the Northerners by giving them 1,500 naira so they would not vote for their rights in August, by August 1st. It's buying the vote. But I have a question here. Perhaps the 1,500, is it bribery? Or maybe it's just compensating them. Relax, enjoy your life and the rest of it. Perhaps that time comes and these people did not collect the money. What do you think would happen? They have not even started protesting. We are already hearing that police are coming from all different branches. They are blocking everywhere. They have started staying in different angles. What happened? And at least if Nigerians are wise, not long enough, we heard the story of NSAS. And I have said it, that the best achievement Nigeria has ever made by protesting is the NSAS protests. Because at least we fought for something that made sense. And why did I say it? When the issue of these things getting skyrocketed and they are saying things are very expensive, we were fighting for minimum wage. And this is why I think that probably Nigerians are not putting too much thought into this our protests. We were fighting for minimum wage. 70,000 naira, right? Now we got the 70,000 naira. I think the first thing we should have been fighting for was the deduction of the fuel price. Because if Nigeria had gone on strike by reducing the fuel price, maybe you are making 40,000 naira or maybe you are making 70,000 naira, everything will come down. Because if you want to take food from one state to another, transportation would make everything skyrocket. But then we strike a little. The government already knows that if we decide not to, if they decide to increase the money to 70,000 naira, they know how they are going to make that money times 2. So why are we fighting this and then we want to fight this and then we want to fight this? When we have to be decisive, what are we actually going for? We must be decisive. Are we actually fighting? Are we protesting for the hardship of Nigeria? Because if we are protesting for hardship, there are various kinds of hardship. I don't think that in our lifetime, hardship will be off Nigeria. No. There are all kinds of hardship. But we have to be specific what we actually want as a people. And what I think we need is to fight for the deduction of the fuel price. And this is what we should have done first. Rather, we left that. We were fighting and protesting for Mohbad. Trust me, I'm not saying we're not supposed to protest for Mohbad, but I'm asking us again. For those of us who had protested for Mohbad, and few people we heard, maybe it's a rumor, that some people were being apprehended, something happened to some people, and all of that. The question is this: what did we achieve by that protest? Because I thought that Nigerian youth could achieve things. Everything is not about protest. When we look at the story of Mohbad, for example, I'm sorry, I just have to branch into this. When you look at the story of Mohbad, for example, it was important that we could have organized among ourselves, those who have certain funds, to go and meet the law enforcement and tell them, these are the people we think are suspect. This is what is going on. And they need to start pressuring them. We don't have to go out and start screaming, because at the end of it, what did we achieve in the protest of Mohbad? So right now, not quite long, how many months ago, or is it up to a month, that we strike for, what do they call the name? We strike for minimum wage. When we should have actually protested for what? We should have protested for the fuel price. We shouldn't have allowed it to get to this level until Nigeria are about to die. They will ignore everything. The fuel moved from 200 naira to maybe 400 naira or 450. Everybody was looking. It moved from 450 to 5 something. Everybody was looking. It moved from there to 1,000. Everybody was looking. It moved now to, is it 900 or 700 or 750 or 800 naira? In some places, prices differs in different cities. And now, when it has gotten to a position that the people are almost dying, now we now make a decision to protest. If we continue like this, do we think we are going to be able to create any revolution? And here will be my last advice for you. I am not saying Nigerians shouldn't protest. In fact, I support everybody. My blessings are for the protesters. And I will be protesting in one way or the other. I will speak out my own truth. But here's what I would tell you. Anyone who is encouraging Nigerian youths to protest, whoever is the influencer who is telling Nigerian youths to protest, make sure the day that you want to protest, make sure that influencer appear on that field where they are protesting. Gone are those days where somebody will just tell you, go and fight for your future. Your future belongs to your hand. And at the end of the day, you are going to see those people in the position of power in the nearest future. Anyone, I'm calling out names, either Verydarkblackman, either kuti, either anybody at all, whoever the person is. If anyone is encouraging Nigerian youths to protest, you have to be on the protest ground on that day. Because we have seen this drama unfold itself in various ways. Nigerian youth need to understand this. I have said it in my previous video that I made today. I said, if you are going for protest, here's my advice for you. If you want to go for protest, make sure you have some cash with you. You need to have some money. And that money, you have to put it beneath your shoe, inside the socks of your shoe. You know why that money is there? Because most likely, you might get arrested. And whoever arrests you, you know Nigerians, they tell you bail is free, but how many people has ever gone out of cell for free without bailing themselves? Now, if it is possible, wear bulletproof. Thirdly, once the time is 6 o'clock, make sure you go back home. No matter who decide that they want to protest, once the time is 6 o'clock, make sure you leave the protest ground and you go back home. Here's the reason. The moment places begin to get dark, the same government will send some people to penetrate the protests, and before you know, there's going to be chaos. And before you know, the protests has ended. We have seen this play. Nobody should be telling us these things. This should be something like ABC for Nigerians. That we should understand that protests in Nigeria, before you know, the people who you are protesting against would inspire certain people, just like the way they are inspiring some people now to collect 1,500 naira. How, Jesus Christ. So if you stop them from protesting right now, they sell their future for more than 2 years right now that this person is going to be government. And I know for sure in Nigeria, these days, everybody go for 8 years. At least Donald Trump, he went for 4 years and then he stepped down. Now he wants to go for another one. God will not let, I shouldn't talk about US. Problem everywhere. May the best man or woman win in the US. But in Nigeria, yeah, we know for sure that this man would not want to step down. So we have almost 6 years to go. So if you want to protest, you have to be sensible. You have to be sensitive. And you have to understand that you wouldn't put your life for one person to tell you that Nigerian youth are willing to die, and you guys feel inspired. You think you are strong. And before you know, all the people who died during the time of EndSARS, I want to ask a question. Have Nigerians done any memory for them? In a sense that after 1 year, did we call the families of this individual and there's a kind of, what do you call it, is it reparation or something like that, that we can gather money and we say, your children who lost their life by protesting for Nigerians, take for your children. Did we do it? How many superstars died in that protest? How many influencers in Nigeria died in the protests? None. I didn't see anyone. The only one we knew is when they started singing, and I may live in Azumba Mbadiwe. I will be on Azumba Mbadiwe. Is that a memorial for those who died by protesting for their country? The so-called influencers who were telling you to come and protest, did they show up? And don't get me wrong, I am speaking on the perspective that you have to protest and be safe at the same time. I'm not here to tell you, cajole you, and tell you that protest for your future, Nigerian youth should fight. You have to fight smart. These governments that we are dealing with are not joke. And the people who are telling you, who are inspiring you and motivating you for it, they are more or less like the same government. Because this Nigeria, one thing I understand about this country, the people who mostly fight these other people, the government, most of them is because they are not in that position. When they find themselves in that position, they will do the same thing. So don't lose your life for nothing. This person we are talking now that they said he wants to be giving people 1,500 in the northern part. You can go back on YouTube and you can check when, our Honorable President Bola Ahmed Tinubu was talking about certain people telling us that Nigerians should protest and the rest and all of this. I can't even remember the year. And he was saying, let Nigerians take the power into their hands. Now, he is now on seat right now, and people want to protest, and Sahara reporters are the ones now telling us that he is giving certain people 1,500 naira for them not to protest. So this says certain things about us as Nigerians. And some of us are doing, we need to protest, we need to fight for what we believe in, we have to change, we have to create revolution, we have to create evolution. We as people, when we go out of this country called Nigeria, who are we there? I believe one thing, Nigeria has a bad reputation almost everywhere we go, and they say, oh, you're a Nigerian, and because of that, they see us in certain angle, and they say, okay, this is how they view us. But we have to ask ourselves, what is our character as people when we travel out of the country? Because even for those who are shouting that they want to japa, they want to move out of the country, how as people How are we acting when we go to another person's land? Do we act as good Nigerians or do we show bad Nigerians there? So if our character as people is bad over there, then when we are in this place, what? Your government steal, you treat yourself bad. I was going somewhere this morning, and after I got to a particular junction, I decided, okay, I was going to take a car. And what I saw was the same thing that would have taken this particular driver to collect maybe the sum of 400 naira from people to take them to the junction where they are going. Because he knew that those people were in a hurry, he realized that cars were not available at that particular time. And then he saw that it was the only one available at that moment. And then he changed the price to 600 naira. If you're not going, step down. We have seen this play among ourselves over and over again. We take advantage of every situation we see. The change of Nigeria, if you think that it begins with the government, you can only hold the government responsible for certain things. But I can say this without a shadow of a doubt. Either Nigeria fuel price come back to 40 naira per liter, the characters of Nigeria towards each other would not change. And if it doesn't change, Nigeria will still be in the same way. Not be with the person money made they come from another country. Once he came the other day, I was watching something on Instagram the other day. One guy said, Fulani are peaceful people. Fulani are not herdsmen. Fulani don't always do this. Fulani don't always do that. But we know them as Fulani. If certain people are not inspiring those people or buying guns or buying weapons for these people to come into their own country to disrupt the peace of their people, would they be doing it? Countless of time have we seen certain people go into the bush, cut bush, clear people's farm and the rest of it. Is it not Nigerians that are inspiring those people? Our mind is there, our back. So if you think by protest, Nigeria is going to change, I wouldn't ask you not to protest. I think you should. Should the government be held responsible? Yes. Is there going to be a change? I don't know. Would they listen to you? Maybe, trust me, I know how these governments are going to do it. If Nigerians truly unite to protest, they will bring down the fuel price. And I bet you in the next 6 months, they will increase the fuel price. Do all the mathematical calculation. That's what is going to happen. Please, if I'm wrong, somebody should correct me. Tell me that I'm wrong. I remember during this time of Olumente, during the time of Obasanjo, Olumente was singing a song. He would say, Ojabiola Shijoba to fiku alo adukpe work before Obasanjo story, which he was talking about 40 naira per liter, fuel price, 40 naira per liter, compared to now, 800 naira per liter. So, and every government, with those people who they say they have good intentions, with removing of subsidy and adding of subsidy, everything just keep going up. Do you think it is just one single person as the president that is doing it, or do you think it is a body of certain people that are the government, or do you think it is a nation, the mindset of the nation of the people? Because I think at this junction, I am kind of scared, and I'm hypothetically going to say this. I see NNPC buying people's filling station right now. As I was coming back, I saw that certain filling stations are closed, fuel stations. They've closed, and I started seeing NNPC are buying those things. And I'm asking myself, are NNPC controlling the price? Or is it possible that NNPC are making things difficult for every other petrol stations so NNPC can be everywhere. And if NNPC are everywhere, now they control the price that they want to sell it. With that being said, I hope I've been able to convince and not to confuse you. This Nigeria, if you don't know anything, you don't know anything. I am not too old, but I have been able to see a lot. If you haven't subscribed, subscribe to my channel. And let me greet our Oga. Tell him to increase the money. Probably if he even pay them 10,500 naira, the Northerners will actually accept it. But paying that amount, nah, I don't think that's going to be enough. Somebody said, Toby and Tribe says, most Nigerians see corruption and shortcuts as a very way of life. Until we start to see corruption as a problem, it will be very difficult to hold our leaders accountable. Bam! Words. That's how Western people will call it, words. Or they'll say fact. Fact. We see corruption as a way of life. Some people, if you check their DNA, their blood type, if you are not going to see corruption, corruption inside their DNA, and then we wear it as pride, and then when we go out, certain people will tell us that Nigerians are very intelligent, and we all think that we are intelligent. We are not intelligent. What have we done with our intelligence in Nigeria? We build, I have said it before, the only things Nigerian produce is candle, books, pencil, pots, plastic plates. What have we built as Nigerians? But when we have that bad character as corruption, then we scam people, we defraud them, and then we take that as a badge of honor and we think we are smart. Foolishness on a different scale. They say, I'm in Nigeria, I can survive everywhere. Survive with what? With the right morals? If we don't change as people, either the fuel come back to 0 naira per liter, this struggle will still continue because it is part of us that became the government. And if the part of us become the government treats us according to how we are as people. I don't want to talk about other countries right now. It is not masquerade, neither is it angel that fell from heaven and became the president of Nigeria. It is we that raised the people. And if we stop taking advantage of our people and we start treating people with respect, with dignity, with honor, fighting for a cause that we all can unite, fight for it, and we can treat ourselves with respect. All these things we are doing. At the end of the day, I remember those times when we were in primary school, when I don't know anything, they will just give you 0.0/10. Nigeria will still be 0/10. So protest or no protest, I'm not saying we shouldn't, but I'm like, we have to change as a people, starting from our government. Should we even start from them? Starting from ourselves as people, then going to your religious people, then entering into your political people. Every other thing. If you haven't subscribed, subscribe to my channel. See you in the next one. Thanks for everyone who has joined me. Adios, amigos. Bye for now.